Today we're going to take a look at nationalism, that is to say, WBCS question after 1857 and nationalism history. WBCS men's question. All the questions will be looked at today, and we're going to get started. Question from 2014 till 2021. All the questions will be looked at, and when I start, and here it goes. The question first: whom of the following was not associated with the partition of Bengal? So Lord Hardinge was not associated, but Andrew Fraser, Lord Curzon, and H. Risley. These all individuals are associated with the partition of Bengal. Lord Curzon, H. Risley, and Andrew Fraser. Andrew Fraser is a police officer. H. Risley and Curzon. All of this. Lord Curzon, H. Risley, and Andrew Fraser. All of them were involved with the partition of Bengal, but not Lord Hardinge. Moving on to the next question: which of the following was not true of the Komagata? So, what is true about Komagata? The activists were associated with the Ghadar Party. Komagata incident, 1914, during First World War, 1914 to 23rd May 1914. The vessel had set sail from Canada. Absolutely correct. Revolutionary from the standard vessel clashed with the British near Daman Harbour. So basically, revolutionary from the standard vessel clashed with the British near Daman Harbour. So in Daman Harbour, the clash started. The revolutionary from the standard vessel clashed with the British near Daman Harbour. The vessel had set sail from Canada. The activists were associated with the Ghadar Party. All of these are correct regarding Komagata, and this happened in 23rd May 1914. Moving on, when was the first ICS examination held in London? First ICS examination held in London in 1855. 1855, first ICS examination held in London. Moving on, who was the founder of the Satyashodhak Samaj? Jyotiba Phule was the founder of Satyashodhak Samaj in the year of 1873. 1873, Jyotiba Phule, founder of the Satyashodhak Samaj. Satyashodhak Samaj founded Jyotiba Phule, 1873. Moving on to the next question: which of the following demand was raised by the Indian National Congress first session? The first session in Indian National Congress, the demands were raised was in induction of a majority of the elected representative in the provincial and the imperial legislative council. Induction of a majority of elected representative in the provincial and the imperialistic legislative council. So induction of a majority of elected representative in the provincial and imperial legislative council. So what was the demand of the first session of the Indian National Congress? What was the demand raised by the National Congress first session? Induction of majority of elected representative in the provincial and the imperial legislative council. That's what was the demand of the first session of the Indian National Congress. Which Bengali radicals spearheaded the Amrit Bazar Patrika to counter the moderate politics of Surendranath Banerjee? So Motilal Ghosh is the one who did that. So which of the Bengali radicals? So basically, Bengali radical Motilal Ghosh. Which Bengali radical Motilal Ghosh spearheaded the Amrit Bazar Patrika to counter the moderate politics of Surendranath Banerjee? So Motilal Ghosh spearheaded the Amrit Bazar Patrika to counter the moderate politics of Surendranath Banerjee. Moving on to the next question: which of the following is true of the Indian Council Act of 1861? Indian Council Act 1861, what is correct? It created an imperial legislative council with the official majority. So what it did, it created an imperial legislative council with official majority. So which of the following is true of the Indian Council Act of 1861? So 1861, it created an imperial legislative council with official majority. Imperial legislative council with official majority. Who was the editor of the journal Maratha? Maratha Journal 1881. The editor was Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Who was the editor of journal Maratha the journal, and this was edited by B.G. Tilak, Gangadhar Tilak, in the year of 1881. Maratha Bal Gangadhar Tilak, 1881. Moving on to the next: who was not a protagonist of the extremist position of the Congress? Who was not a protagonist of the extremist position in the Congress? Who is not a protagonist of the extremist? Like Arvind Ghosh was an extremist. Brahma Bandhu Upadhyaya. Then comes M.M. Malavya, Madan Mohan Malavya. Only Arvind Ghosh. Who are the following not a protagonist of the extremist position of the Congress? So Arvind Ghosh was an extremist. Only Arvind Ghosh was an extremist, except Arvind Ghosh, none of them are extremists. Madan Mohan Malavya, Jyotiba Phule, Brahmabandhu Upadhyaya, none of them are extremists. So the only extremist among the options, in the options given, the only extremist one, Arvind Ghosh. Arvind Ghosh was the only extremist, and Jyotiba Phule, then Brahmabandhu Upadhyaya, and Madan Mohan Malavya, they are moderates. Whom of the following is not associated with the economic critique of the British, economic critique of British rule? Whom of the following was not? So R.C. Datta, Dadabhai Naoroji, and Gokhale, all of them were involved with the critique of British rule, that is to say, economic drain, etc. Among the following associated with the economic critique of the British rule were R.C. Datta, then Dadabhai Naoroji, and Gokhale. Gokhale, Dadabhai Naoroji, and R.C. Datta all are involved in the economic critique of the British rule, they all criticize the economic, economic conditions or the kind of economic scenario that the British have created. All of them are extremely kind of a vicious, a vehement critique of this. So, whom of the following were associated? Not a critique. M.G. Ranade was not a critique of the British economic policy. So, except M.G. Ranade, all of them were critique of the British policy. So, who are the critique? R.C. Datta, Dadabhai Naoroji, and Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Moving on to the next question. What is the Ulgulan? Ulgulan is a Munda uprising, 1899 to 1900. So Ulgulan is Birsa Munda, Ulgulan Birsa Munda, that is Munda uprising. Birsa Munda were the leaders. So Ulgulan is kind of a Munda uprising, 1899 to 1900. So whom of the following was not associated with the Aligarh movement? So the Aligarh movement not associated. So who are the one associated with? Whom of the following is not associated with the Aligarh movement? So Theodore Beg, Raja of Banaras, they are associated, but Syed Ahmed of Raebareli. Syed Ahmed of Raebareli not associated with the Aligarh movement. The following not associated with the Aligarh movement. So Aligarh movement associated, Syed Ahmed of Raebareli not associated with Syed Ahmed of Raebareli not associated with the Aligarh movement, but Theodore Beg, Raja Banaras, they are involved with it. In which year did Indian Penal Code came into effect? Indian Penal Code IPC, Indian Penal Code came into effect in 1862. Indian Penal Code IPC came into effect in 1862. Indian Penal Code came into effect in 1862. Moving on to the next question. During whose tenure the office was Indian University Commission set up? During whose tenure in office was the Indian University Commission set up? Indian University Commission set up during Lord Curzon's term. So Indian University Commission was set up in the year of 1902, and it was during the period of Lord Curzon. So during the period of Lord Curzon, Indian University Commission set up. Indian University Commission set up during the tenure of Lord Curzon, 1902. Which of the following did not contribute to the growing cleavage between the Hindus and Muslims? Which of this did not contribute to the growing cleavage between Hindus and Muslims? So Urdu Nagari controversy is one thing, then comes the cow protection movement, then music near mosque. All of these three, they have contributed to the communal cleavage between Hindus and Muslims. So what are these? Urdu Nagari controversy, then cow protection movement, and music near mosque, cow protection movement, and Urdu Nagari controversy. All of these have sort of contributed to the growth of the growing cleavage between the Hindus and Muslims. But Shivaji festival did not. Shivaji festival never created a cleavage between the Hindus and Muslims. Moving on to the next question. Who started the statutory civil service and when? Statutory civil service was started by Lord Lytton in the year of 1879. 1879 statutory civil service. Statutory civil service started by Lord Lytton, 1789. Statutory civil service started by Lord Lytton, 1879. Moving on to the next question. In which journal did Aurobindo Ghosh wrote his critique of the INC and the series of articles called New Lamps for the Old? New Lamps for the Old, Aurobindo Ghosh. Indu Prakash is the article. Indu Prakash is the article where, in which journal Aurobindo Ghosh wrote the critique of the INC. In the year of 1893, he did that in Indu Prakash. There was a journal goes by the name Indu Prakash, where Aurobindo Ghosh wrote the article, and where he sort of criticized the position of the INC and what they are doing, and termed it as this article was called New Lamps for Old. New Lamps for Old. This was written by Aurobindo Ghosh. This article was written by Aurobindo Ghosh in Indu Prakash magazine, in Indu Prakash journal or magazine. Yeah, Indu Prakash journal in the year of 1893. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following was true? Which of the following is true of the Indian Council Act of 1892? Indian Council Act of 1892. Which of the following is true? So it allowed the Indian members the right of interpellation. So what was that? It allowed the Indian members the right of interpellation of the executive. Interpellation, that is to say, what is the meaning of interpellation? Here is the meaning, that is to say interrupt the order. So interpellation. So that interpellation was allowed. So it allowed the Indian members the right of interpellation, that is to say they can oppose whatever, like discussion is going on or whatever. Which of the following was true of the Indian Council Act of 1892? It allowed the Indian members the right of interpellation of the executive. Executive decision, interpellation was allowed. It allowed a majority of the Indian members in the Viceroy's Legislative Council. Allows majority of the Indian members in the Viceroy's Legislative Council. It allowed a majority of Indian members in the Viceroy's Legislative Council. It allowed Indians to discuss the budget for the first time. It also allowed the Indians to discuss budget for the first time. It allowed Indians to discuss the budget for the first time. So it allowed Indians to discuss budget for the first time. It allowed a majority of the Indian members in the Viceroy's Legislative Council. It allowed the Indian members the right of interpellation of the executive. So these are the things Indian Council Act of 1892 allowed. Moving on to the next question. When was the electoral principle considered for selection of the Indian members in the ILC, Indian Legislative Council? When was the electoral principle considered for the selection of the Indian members in the ILC, Indian Legislative Council, Indian Council Act of 1909. Indian Council Act of 1909. When was the electoral principle considered? Electoral principle considered for selection of the Indian members in the ILC, Indian Legislative Council, Indian Council Act of 1909. So Indian Council Act of 1909 allowed what? Electoral principle considered for selection of the Indian members in the ILC. Moving on to the next question, who was the first British national to be president of the INC? W. Whittinburn. W. Whittinburn is the first Englishman, actually, who was the first British national to be president of INC. First British man to become the president of INC was W. Whittinburn. The first British national to be the member of the INC, or the kind of president of INC, was W. Whittinburn. Moving on to the next question, W. Whittinburn is the right answer, I guess. Yes. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following was associated with the Viceroy Lord Hardinge? Viceroy Lord Hardinge, and which is correct regarding that? All of these are correct. Repeal of the partition of Bengal along communal line. Lord Hardinge says that repeal the partition of Bengal along communal line, then separate Orissa from Bengal and Bihar. Separation of Orissa and Bengal from Bihar. Separation of Orissa and Bihar from Bengal, actually. Separation of Orissa and Bihar from Bengal. Then comes transfer the capital from Calcutta to Delhi. So during the period of Lord Hardinge, what are the three things happened? The annulment of the partition, then comes the Orissa and Bihar was separated from Bengal, and the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. Moving on to the next question, who was the principal architect of the British India's policy towards Tibet? British India policy towards Tibet, that is Tibetan policy, British Indian policy towards Tibet, and who was the instrumental individual there? Lord Curzon was instrumental there. Who was the principal architect of the British India policy towards Tibet? That was Lord Curzon. Lord Curzon was the individual who was there. Who presided over the Madras session of the INC 1887? Presided Madras session of the INC, Badruddin Tayebchi. Badruddin Tayebchi is the one who kind of presided over the INC 1887 Indian Council, INC. Who presided over the Madras session of the INC? Madras session of the INC was presided over by Badruddin Tayebchi. Badruddin Tayebchi is the one who presided over the Madras session of the INC. Madras session of the INC presided over by Badruddin Tayebchi. Which of these was a feature of the Swadeshi movement in Bengal 1905 to 1909? Which of the following was a feature of the Swadeshi movement in Bengal? Swadeshi movement, Bengal, boycott, then revolutionary terrorism, voluntary association, revolutionary terrorism, boycott, all of these. Which of these was the feature of the Swadeshi movement in 1905 to 1909? Boycott was one, then comes revolutionary terrorism, then voluntary association. These are all there. Moving on to the next question, in which year did the British Parliament British Parliament legislate on simultaneous ICS examination in England and India? So this happened in the year of 1893. So in 1893, the decision was made that ICS examination will be simultaneously conducted in both India and England. In 1893, it was decided that ICS examination would be conducted simultaneously both in India and in England. So in 1893, it was decided that ICS examination would be conducted simultaneously both in India and in England. Who referred to INC as the microscopic minority of the people of India, or Indian people? Lord Dufferin is the one in 1888. In 1888, Lord Dufferin declared this, that is to say, in 1888, Lord Dufferin declared INC as sort of is a microscopic minority of the Indian people, was referred to INC as a microscopic minority of the Indian population or Indian people. Who was associated with the Servants of India Society? Servants of India Society 1905, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, GKG. So Gopal Krishna Gokhale was associated with Servants of India Society. Servants of India Society associated Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Gopal Krishna Gokhale associated with Servants of India Society 1905. Moving on to the next question. When was the right of a discussion of the budget given to councillors of the Imperial Legislative Council? So when was the right of discussion of the budget given to the Council of Imperial Legislative Council? Imperial Legislative Council, the discussion of the budget, that power was given in Indian Council Act of 1892. Indian Council Act of 1892. The right of the discussion of the budget given to the Council of Imperial Legislative Council budget. So when was the right of the discussion of the budget given to the councillor of the Imperial Legislative Council? Indian Council Act of 1892. Budget could be discussed 1892. Moving on to the next question. When was the first Factory Act passed in India? First Factory Act was passed during the tenure of Lord Ripon, and this happened in the year of 1881. During the tenure of Lord Ripon, first Factory Act was passed. 1881. During the tenure of Lord Ripon, first Factory Act was passed. Moving on to the next question. During the tenure of which Viceroy were the Cotton and the Tariff Duties Act passed? Cotton and Tariff Duties passed Lord Elgin. During the tenure of Lord Elgin, Cotton and this was passed. During the tenure of which viceroy was the Cotton and the Tariff Duties Act passed? Tariff duties passed during the tenure of Lord Ripon in the year Lord Elgin in 1894. So during the tenure of Lord Elgin, that is to say, Cotton and the Tariff Duties Act passed. Cotton and the Tariff Duties were passed during the tenure of Lord Elgin in 1894. Who was the first Indian to become the law member of the Viceroy Executive Council? Viceroy's Executive Council, Lord Sinha is the one actually. Who was the first Indian to become the law member of the Viceroy Executive Council? Become the first law member of the first Indian to become the law member of Viceroy Executive Council, Lord Sinha. Lord Sinha is the one. Lord Sinha. Who was the first Indian to become the law member of the Viceroy's Executive Council? Lord Sinha is the one. Moving on to the next question. The author of the book, The India War of Independence, 1857, was written by V.D. Savarkar. The Indian War of Independence, this book was written by V.D. Savarkar. So, the author of the book, The Indian War of Independence, 1857, was written in the 1909. The author of the book, The Indian War of Independence, 1857, was written by V.D. Savarkar. War of Independence, this book was written by V.D. Savarkar in the year of 1909. Moving on, who of the following opined that the original homeland of the Aryans was the Arctic region? Arctic region, homeland of the Aryans. This was this held true. This statement was given by Bal Gangadhar Tilak in his article or whatever. So Bal Gangadhar Tilak is of the opinion that the original homeland of the Aryans was the Arctic region. That's it. In the year of 1903. 1903, he opined that in the year of 1903, Bal Gangadhar Tilak opined that original homeland of the Aryans were the Arctic region. Moving on, the Gadar Party was founded November 1913, San Francisco, USA, by Lala Hardayal. Moving on to the next question. Who among the following was not involved with the foundation of the National Samiti of Calcutta in 1902? So, National Samiti, who are the involved individual? Pramothanath Mitra was there. Then comes Barendra Kumar Ghosh and Jyotindranath Banerjee. So, Pramothanath Mitra, then Barendra Kumar Ghosh and Jyotindranath Banerjee. Jyotindranath Banerjee, Pramothanath Mitra, Barendra Kumar Ghosh, all of them are involved with National Samiti Calcutta in 1902. But Avani Mukherjee, there was no individual such as Avani Mukherjee. So Avani Mukherjee was not involved there. So in the case of Anushilhan Samiti, the individuals who were involved were Pramoth Mitra, then Barendra Kumar Ghosh and Jyotindranath Banerjee. These individuals were involved there. The National Council of Education, the National Council for Education was set up in the year of 1906. The National Council of Education was set up in 1906. The National Council of Education was set up in the year of 1906. Moving on to the next question. The second Muslim president of the Indian National Congress was first Badruddin Taibji. Second was Rahmatullah M. Sayani. Rahmatullah M. Sayani was the second Muslim president of Indian National Congress, and this took place in and this happened in Calcutta session of the INC 1896 Calcutta session of the INC. Rahmatullah M. Sayani was the one, and this took place in 1896 Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress. Moving on to the next question. Vande Mataram was first sung at the session of the Indian National Congress in the year of 1896. So 1896 is the year when the Vande Mataram first sung at the Calcutta session of the INC. So at the Calcutta session of the INC, Vande Mataram was sung for the first sung at the session of the Indian National Congress, and this was sung by who? Rabindranath Tagore. So Vande Mataram was first sung at the session of the Indian National Congress in 1896 Calcutta session, and this was sung by Rabindranath Tagore. Moving on to the next question. Whom of the following was the first leader to organize labor movement in India? Labor movement N.M. Loknath, L-O-K-H-A-N, Loknand, L-O-K-H, Lok-A-N-A-N-D. So the pronunciation will be Lokhande actually, Lokhande. Whom of the following was the first leader to organize the labor movement in India? First leader to organize labor movement in India was N.M. Lokhande. N.M. Lokhande was the one, Lokhande. So, whom of the following was the first leader to organize the labor movement in India? 1890. N.M. Lokhande was the one. Moving on, which among the following is not a literary work of Gandhi? So, the literary work of Gandhi would be Hind Swaraj, Indian Opinion, and Young India. At Yugantar, Barendra Kumar Ghosh. Actually, Yugantar is not his work. So, Yugantar was not written by Gandhi. So, Gandhi has nothing to do with Yugantar. Yugantar is someone else wrote. So, again, we just have to take a look at the options there. So, Gandhi work, the work written by Gandhi, the works that was composed by Gandhi were Hind Swaraj, Indian Opinion, and Young India. Hind Swaraj, Indian Opinion, and Young India. These are all work. These all are work by Gandhi, but Yugantar is not. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is correctly matched? Then there is only one. Ramesh Chandra Datta, Economic History of India. Economic History of India, Ramesh Chandra Datta. Neil Darpan is written by who? I'm just take a look at all this. But first, Ramesh Chandra Datta, Economic History of India. Ramesh Chandra Datta, Economic History of India. So if we do some of the corrections here, then it would look something like this. Rabindranath Tagore, no. Nil Darpan was written by Madhusudhan Datta. Like Dinabandhu Mitra, like Nil Darpan was written by Dinabandhu Mitra and it was translated by Madhusudhan Datta. Then comes Indian Unrest. This was written by Valentine Shirall. Hit down Bal Gangadhar Tilaka is father of Indian Unrest. Then moving on to the next question, Gora. This Gora novel, this was written by Rabindranath Tagore, in which he published. This was published in 1909, which is a novel that includes a philosophical debate on policies, pure politics and religion, traditional values and modernity, urban elite versus rural peasant, nationalism and Brahmo Samaj, etc. So basically, these are things that dealt with. So Gora written by Rabindranath Tagore, Ramesh Chandra Datta economic history of India, Ramesh Chandra Datta economic history of India, Nil Darpan, Dinabandhu Mitra, and translated by Madhusudhan Datta, Indian Unrest, Valentine Shirall. He termed Bal Gangadhar Tilaka as the father of Indian Unrest, and Gora Rabindranath Tagore. Moving on to the next question, who was the founder of the Prarthana Samaj? Prarthana Samaj, this was founded by Atmaram Panduranga. Atmaram Panduranga in the year of 1867. Atmaram Panduranga is the one who established Prarthana Samaj. Moving on to the next question, in which year was Lala Lajpat Rai deported to Mandalay for organizing the agrarian movement in Punjab? Lala Lajpat Rai was deported to Mandalay for organizing the agrarian movement in Punjab in the year of 1907. In the year of 1907, this happened. This took place in 1907, in which year Lala Lajpat Rai was transferred to Mandalay. So in the year of 1907, Lala Lajpat Rai was deported to Mandalay for organizing the agrarian movement in Punjab. So Lala Lajpat Rai deported to Mandalay in 1907 for organizing the agrarian movement in Punjab. Then again, a chronological order, this has to be arranged. So yes, for following arrange like that has to be done. Then Foundation of Indian National Congress, 28 December 1885, that is Foundation of Indian National Congress. Salmon Commission, they landed in India in the year of 1920. In 1928, Salmon Commission landed in India. Then Home Rule League, Home Rule movement in India was started by Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Annie Besant in year 1916 in two phases. First in April and second in September. It flourished across the country between 1916 to 1918. So Home Rule League established in 1916 by Annie Besant and Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Annie Besant. One in Adyar and another is in Pune. Bal Gangadhar Tilak is in Pune and Annie Besant in Adyar, I guess, yes. Then Cabinet Mission Plan was a high-powered mission sent in February 1946 by the Attlee government, that is British Prime Minister Clement Attlee. So that's pretty much it. Cabinet Mission Plan 1946 February, then Home Rule Movement 1916, then Salmon Commission 1928, and International Congress Foundation 28 December 1885. Moving on to the next question, the Cuckoo movement was started in the mid-19th century. The Cuckoo movement mid-19th century in Western Punjab. Cuckoo movement or Cookie movement or Cuckoo movement, Western Punjab. Moving on to the next question, who was the founder of the secret society Abhinava Bharata? Abhinava Bharata, Ganesh Savarkar. Ganesh Savarkar is the founder of Abhinava Bharata. Ganesh Savarkar is the founder of Abhinava Bharata. Ganesh Savarkar, founder of Abhinava Bharata. Moving on, then comes during the first 20 years of the Congress, which of the following acted as the president of INC? Or who was the acted during the first 20 years? Dadabhai Naoroji. So during the first 20 years, the Congress, the following person, Dadabhai Naoroji, acted as the president of INC thrice, actually 3 times. During the first 20 years of the Congress, which of the following acted as the president of INC thrice? Dadabhai Naoroji. During the first 20 years of the Congress, the following person, that is Dadabhai Naoroji, acted as the president of INC thrice, 3 times. Arvind Ghosh was brilliantly defended by Chittaranjan Das. Arvind Ghosh was brilliantly defended by Chittaranjan Das. Arvind Ghosh was brilliantly defended by Chittaranjan Das. Moving on to the next, the brain behind the bomb attack on Hardings, that is Viceroy Lord Hardings at Chandni Chowk, Delhi in December 1912 was Raj Bihari Bose. So Raj Bihari Bose was the one who kind of threw a bomb at Lord Hardings. Raj Bihari Bose was the one who threw a bomb at Lord Hardings. So Raj Bihari Bose, the bomb attack on Lord Hardings, or Viceroy Lord Hardings, Raj Bihari Bose. After the partition of Bengal, 2 new provinces which came into existence were East Bengal and West Bengal. Partition of Bengal, after the partition, East Bengal and West Bengal, that is to say East Bengal and Bengal, came into existence. Moving on to the next question, the European organization in India which launched against the Ilbert Bill controversy was European Defence Association in 1883. European Defence Association launched against the Ilbert Bill controversy, launched agitation against the Ilbert Bill controversy. The European organization in India, that is European Defence Association, launched agitation against Ilbert Bill controversy in the year of 1883. Moving on, he was a great Indian revolutionary who was a professor of the Sanskrit College and the philosophy in the University of Berkeley and Stanford, and died as a sannyasi in the Philadelphia. He was what? Lala Hardayal. So Lala Hardayal is the one he was the one who died in captivity, I guess. So Philadelphia. So he was a great Indian revolutionary, professor Sanskrit and philosophy in the University of Berkeley, at the University of Berkeley and Stanford, and died as a sannyasi in Philadelphia. He was Lala Hardayal. So Lala Hardayal was a great revolutionary, a professor of Sanskrit and philosophy in University of Berkeley and Berkeley and Stanford, and died as a sannyasi in Philadelphia. So Lala Hardayal was the one. Moving on to the next question, Bengali weekly Jugantar was and Bashumati. Barindra Ghosh is the one who edited these two journals. So the Bengali weekly, so not journal, rather Bengali weekly. So two Bengali weekly who edited Bengali weekly, the Jugantar and Basumati. Bengali, like Basumati and Jugantar, these two journals were edited by or published by Bengali weekly. Are Jugantar and Basumati were Barindra Ghosh. Barindra Ghosh is the one who did that. Basumati and Jugantar, Barindra Ghosh. Moving on, Madan Lal Dhingra murdered Curzon Wiley in London, who was he was an advisor of the Secretary of the State of India. So basically, Madan Lal Dhingra, he murdered Curzon Wiley in London. Now Curzon Wiley was advisor to the Secretary of the State of India. Secretary of the State of India, he was an advisor to the Secretary of State of India. Madan Lal Dhingra murdered Curzon Wiley in London. He was the Secretary of State for India. Then moving on to next question, Gopal Hari Deshmukh is popularly known as Lokhitawadi because of what? Gopal Hari Deshmukh is known as Lokhitawadi because of all the reasons. He was a great philanthropist and social worker, that is one thing. He distributed money and medicines to the poor and the needy individuals. So Gopal Hari Deshmukh did another thing, that is, he distributed money and medicines to the poor and the needy. Well, that is another thing he did. He edited a monthly magazine, the Lokhitawadi. So Gopal Hari Deshmukh is Lokhitawadi. So he edited the journal, goes by the name Lokhitawadi. He distributed money and medicine to the poor and the needy. Poor and needy, he distributed money. Then comes, he was a great philanthropist and social worker, Lokhitawadi, Gopal Hari Deshmukh. So he is a philanthropist and social worker. He distributed money and medicine to the poor and the needy. He edited the monthly magazine that is the Lokhitawadi. Moving on, who was the first to unfurl the first Indian national flag, the present and precursor of the flag of the Indian independence, that is Indian independence flag, Stuttgart, Germany, 1907, Madame Kama. Madame Vikaji Kama is the one who Stuttgart, Germany, where she unfurled the Indian flag for the first time. She is the one who unfurled the Indian flag for the first time. That is to say, not the present day flag, but the one that would become the precursor, that flag that was the precursor. So who was the one who did that? It was Madame Kama. So Madame Kama was the one she did that. So Madame Kama first to unfurl the first Indian national flag, the present and the precursor, the parent, not rather present, but rather parent and the precursor of the flag of the independent India. Stuttgart, Germany, 1907. Madame Vikaji Kama is the one, she did that. Moving on to the next question. Dadabhai Naoroji was elected to the British House of the Commons as a member of the party. Dadabhai Naoroji was elected to the British House of the Commons as a member of the party, Liberal Party, is Finsbury Central Legislative Assembly or whatever. So basically, he was selected from Finsbury Central Assembly from the Liberal Party. So Dadabhai Naoroji was elected elected to the British House of the Commons as a member of the party, Finsbury Central Assembly in 1892. Liberal. Moving on to the next question. Match the social reformer of the 19th century with their individual contribution. 1, 2, 3, 4. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, abolition of sati, absolutely fine. Raja Ram Mohan Roy is involved in abolition of sati. Keshav Chandra Sen, intercaste marriage, widow remarriage and emancipation of the woman, that is also fine. Then Jyotiba Phule removal of untouchability, and Dayanand Saraswati, Sudhi movement, Dayanand Saraswati, and rejection of hereditary caste system. So basically, Dayanand Saraswati, Shuddhi movement, and hereditary caste movement, that is fine. Jyotiba Phule removal of untouchability, absolutely fine. Keshav Chandra Sen, KC Sen, intercaste marriage, widow remarriage, and emancipation of the woman. Then comes Raja Ram Mohan Roy, abolition of sati, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Moving on to the next question. The precursor of the Indian National Congress was Indian National Conference, 1883 Indian National Conference. That was precursor of the Indian National Congress. Precursor of Indian National Congress was what? Indian National Congress, precursor 1883, that is Indian National Conference. The name Indian National Congress was given by Dadabhai Naoroji. Dadabhai Naoroji gave the name Indian National Congress. This name was given by Dadabhai Naoroji. The Indian National Congress, this name was given by Indian National Congress. This name was given by Dadabhai Naoroji. Moving on, who was the first president of Indian National Congress? Umesh Chandra Banerjee. First session of the Indian National Congress, president was Umesh Chandra Banerjee, who said the Congress is tottering to its fall, and one of my greatest ambition while in India is to assist it to its peaceful demise. Lord Curzon is the one who said this, who made this statement. Arrange the following event in chronological order again. Then comes we have to 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all in chronological order. Bengal partition 1905. Varanasi session of the National Congress, not exactly sure. Then Calcutta session of the INC 1906. Then foundation of Muslim League, that is in 1906, I guess. Yes, the foundation of Muslim League is also in 1906. So here we get to learn what we have supposed to kind of learn. That is to say, Varanasi session, probably it has to be, I'm not sure. But the foundation of Muslim League, All India Muslim League, known as the Muslim League, All India Muslim League, this was founded in 1906, and Calcutta session also 1906. Moving on to the next question. The immediate reason, the immediate cause for the Surat split 1907 between the moderate and the extremist was the election of the president of INC. The stalemate the reason for the stalemate was the election of the president of INC. Who would be the president of INC? That was the reason. The election of the president of INC. The election of the president of INC. That was the kind of a bone of contention. The Calcutta session of INC in 1906 makes a turning point in the history of the Congress, because the Calcutta session of INC makes in 1906 makes a turning point in the history of the Congress, because it adopted the resolution regarding boycott, Swadeshi, and national education and self-government. So that became a turning point in the history of the Indian National Congress, or not Indian history actually, the history of Congress and in history in general. So it adopted resolutions regarding boycott. Then Congress actually did, but then all the party and everyone, pretty much all the kind of let's just say individuals that were involved, they kind of got involved in it. It adopted the resolution regarding boycotts with Asia and the national education and self-government, etc., who were designated as neo-nationalist. Extremists were regarded as neo-nationalist. Neo-nationalist extremists were regarded as neo-nationalists. Moving on to the next question. Match the paper or periodical with the national leader who published them. So, like, if I were to match, Abdul Kalam Azad published what? So we could say Abdul Kalam Azad published, Abdul Kalam Azad, Al-Hilal is the one published by Abdul Kalam Azad. Al-Hilal, Abdul Kalam Azad. Then Firoz Shah Mehta published Bombay Chronicles. This Bombay Chronicles, Firoz Shah Mehta. Bombay Chronicles. Miss Annie Besant published Miss Annie Besant Young India, absolutely fine, and Gandhi New India. These two are perfect match. So Miss Annie Besant Young India and Gandhi New India. New India Gandhi and Young India Annie Besant. Firoz Shah Mehta Bombay Chronicles, and Abdul Kalam Azad Al-Hilal Al-Balagh Al-Hilal. Moving on to the next question. Arrange the following electronic chronological order. Then comes that is the correct bombing of Lord Hardinge. So don't know the correct chronological order, but then just don't have to, but just know the bombing of Lord Hardinge, 23rd December 1912. A bomb was thrown at Viceroy in the procession at Chandni Chowk. Lord Hardinge II, 23rd October 1912. Then transfer of capital from Calcutta to Delhi. Transfer of capital, that is 1911. Outbreak of First World War 1914, and arrival of Gandhi 1915. So it was arrival of Gandhi 1915, then outbreak of the First World War 1914, transfer of capital from Calcutta to Delhi 1911. Bombing Lord Hardinge, 23rd December 1912. Bomb was thrown at the Viceroy in the procession at the Chandni Chowk. Well, that is what it is. Moving on to the next question. Match the founder of the following revolutionary organization. Then again, matching has to be done. So Anushilhan Samiti, this was established by Anushilhan Samiti. Like, who established Anushilhan Samiti? Barendra Kumar Ghosh is the one who established Anushilhan Samiti. Barendra Kumar Ghosh, Anushilhan Samiti. Abhinav Bharata Savarkar is the one who established Abhinav Bharata Savarkar. Then Gadar Party Lala Hardyal, and the Hindustan Socialist Association, like Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, Bhagat Singh, etc. This was Bhagat Singh. This was established by Bhagat Singh. Sachindranath Sinha is the one, probably Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. This was Bhagat Singh, etc. And Gadar Party, Lala Hardyal, Gadar Party. Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, that is Lala Hardyal. Like, that is Bhagat Singh. Moving on to the next question. Who is regarded as the mother of the Indian Revolution? Madam Bikachi Rustam Kame, mother of Indian Revolution. Madam Bikachi Rustam Kame, Madam Kama, like a mother of Indian Revolution. Moving on to the next question. Ridiculing the ideas of Swaraj in 1903, who said, one madman outside lunatic asylum could think or talk of independence. Gopal Krishna Gokhale is the one who said this statement. I mean, this statement was made by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So Gopal Krishna Gokhale said that only a madman out of lunatic asylum could think or talk of independence. Ridiculed this idea. Swaraj in 1903. This idea was ridiculed by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So Gopal Krishna Gokhale was the one political guru of Gandhi, by the way. He was younger than Gandhi, but then somehow Gandhi took him to be his political guru. So Gopal Krishna Gokhale is the one who ridiculed the idea of Swaraj in 1903, who said that only a madman out of lunatic asylum could think or talk of independence. This was Gopal Krishna Gokhale for you. Moving on, during the British rule, the only British king to visit India and to hold his magnificent Darbar was George V. During the British rule, only British king that came and hold a grand Darbar was George V, King George V, and probably it is in his honor that Gateway of India was built. So during British rule, the only British king to visit India and to hold his magnificent Darbar was George V, King George V. Moving on to the next question. Calcutta session of the Congress, Calcutta Science College was established in 1914. Calcutta Science College was established in 1914 is when the Calcutta Science College was established. Calcutta Science College 1914. The first newspaper published by Gopal Krishna M.K. Gandhi was Indian Opinion. Indian Opinion is the first newspaper published by Gandhi. Gandhi published first newspaper. M.K. Gandhi first newspaper published by Gandhi was Indian Opinion 1903. The sudden emergence of the Samiti or the National Volunteer Movement was one of the major achievements of the Swadeshi age. Who founded Swadeshi Bandhav Samiti? Ashwini Kumar Dutt is the one who founded Swadeshi Bandhav Samiti. Ashwini Kumar Dutt, Swadeshi Bandhav Samiti. Sudden emergence of the Samitis or the National Volunteer Movement was one of the major achievements of the Swadeshi age. This was the one. The sudden emergence of the Samiti or the National Volunteer Movement was one of the major achievements of the Swadeshi age. The founder of the Swadeshi movement was Swadeshi Bandhav Samiti was Ashwini Kumar Dutt. Moving on to the next question. Anti-Circular Society was established by Sachindra Prasad Basu. Sachindra Prasad Basu is the one who established Anti-Circular Society. This Anti-Circular Society was established by Sachindra Kumar Basu. Sachindra Prasad Basu, Anti-Circular Society established by Sachindra Prasad Basu. Sachindra Prasad Basu, Anti-Circular Society. Shantha periodical was published by Brahma Bandha Upadhyay. Shantha periodical was published by Brahma Bandha Upadhyay. Shantha periodical was published by Brahma Bandha Upadhyay 1906. 1906. Shantha periodical was published in 1906 by Brahma Bandha Upadhyay. A.N.D. Andhra Nagari was written by Andheri Nagari actually. Andher Nagari. This was written by Harish Chandra. This was written Bharatendu Harish Chandra. There was an individual goes by the name Bharatendu Harish Chandra is the one. Bharatendu Harish Chandra is the one who wrote this novel in the year of 1881. Andheri Nagari. Andher Nagari was written by Bhartendu Bhartendu Harish Chandra was the one who wrote Andher Nagari 1881. Andher Nagari 1881. This was written by Bhartendu Harish Chandra. Moving on to the next question. Sanjeevani newspaper was published by Krishna Kumar Mitra. Krishna Kumar Mitra is the one. K.K. Mitra is the one who published Krishna Kumar Mitra in 1883. 1883, Krishna Kumar Mitra is the one who published Sanjeevani newspaper was published by Krishna Kumar Mitra. Krishna Kumar Mitra is the one who published Sanjeevani. A newspaper was published by Krishna Kumar Mitra was Sanjeevani. Krishna Kumar Mitra, K.K. Mitra, 1883. Moving on to the next question. Dramatic Performance Act. Dramatic Performance Act was brought into force under the administration of Dramatic Performance Act Lord Northbrook. Lord Northbrook is the one who published this Dramatic Performance Act. Dramatic Performance Act DPA was brought into force under the administration of Lord Northbrook 1876. Dramatic Performance Act of DPA was brought into public force under the administration of Dramatic Performance Act DPA was brought into public force under administration of 1876 Lord Northbrook. Dramatic Performance Act brought into force under administration of Lord Northbrook in the year of 1876. The Dramatic Performance Act was brought into force under the administration of Lord Northbrook 1876. Moving on to next question. Vartaman Bharat was written by Swami Vivekananda. Vartaman Bharat was written by Swami Vivekananda. Vartaman Bharat written by Swami Vivekananda. Moving on to the next question. Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Yogyam SNDP was founded by Sri Narayana Guru 1903. Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Yogam. Sri Narayan Dharma Paripalana Yogam. Sri Narayan Dharma Paripalana Yogam. Sri Narayan Dharma Paripalana Yogam SNDP was founded by Sri Narayana Guru. Sri Narayana Guru is the one who founded this. Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Yogam. Sri Narayan Dharma Paripalana Yogam SNDP was founded by Sri Narayana Guru 1903. Moving on to the next question. Jyotiba Phule started his Satyashodak Samaj. Jyotiba Phule 1873. 1873 Jyotiba Phule started Satyashodak Samaj. Jyotiba Phule 1873 Jyotiba Phule Satyashodak Samaj 1873. 1873 Jyotiba Phule Satyashodak Samaj 1873. Moving on to the next question. The new magazine Bharat was published by the magazine Bharat Shramajীবী. This was Bharat Shramajীবী. This was published by Shashipada Banerjee. Shashipada Banerjee is the one who published this magazine. Shashipada Banerjee is the one who published this work, that is new magazine, Bharat Sharma Shramajivi, actually Bharat Shramajivi new magazine, Bharat Shramajivi. This was published by Shashipada Banerjee published Bharat Shramajivi, Shashipada Banerjee published by Shashipada Banerjee. Moving on to the next, Nair Service Society under the leadership of Padmanavan Pillai, M.A. in an ATH, Manat Padmanavan Pillai was founded in the year of 1914. Nair Service Society, M. Padmanavan Pillai, actually, Mannat, M.A.N.N.A.T.H, Mannat M. Padmanavan Pillai was founded in 1914. Nair Service Society, M. Padmanavan Pillai was founded in 1914. Moving on to the next, Pandit Ramabai Saraswati arrived in Western India in 1882, and with the help from Ramabai Ranade set up Arya Mahila Samaj for general upliftment and enlightenment of the woman. So Arya Mahila Samaj, this was established by who? Arya Mahila Samaj, this was established by Pandit Ramabai Saraswati, arrived in Western India in 1882, and with the help of Ramabai Ranade, they together, both of them, they together established Arya Mahila Samaj. So Arya Mahila Samaj for the general upliftment, for the upliftment and enlightenment of the woman. Pandit Ramabai Saraswati arrived in Western India in 1882, and with the help of Ramabai Ranade, they established Arya Mahila Samaj. So who were the individuals involved in Arya Mahila Samaj? For the foundation of Arya Mahila Samaj, who were the one played instrumental role? Pandit Ramabai Saraswati and Ramabai Ranade. Pandit Ramabai Saraswati and Ramabai Ranade. These two individuals were instrumental. Then Mahakali Pathshala was founded by Mahakali Pathshala in 1893, Calcutta. Mahakali Pathshala was founded 1893, Calcutta by Mataji Tapaswini. Mataji Tapaswini was the one founded Mahakali Pathshala. Then Mahakali Pathshala founded by Mataji Tapaswini. Mahakali Pathshala was founded by Mataji Tapaswini, Calcutta, 1893, Calcutta. Mataji Tapaswini, Calcutta, 1893. Mahakali Pathshala was founded by Mataji Tapaswini. Mahakali Pathshala was founded by Mataji Tapaswini, 1893, Calcutta. Moving on, Kesari was the mouthpiece of Indian National Society. Kesari was the mouthpiece of Indian National Society. Kesari was the mouthpiece of Indian National Society. Moving on to the next question. Dayanand's pamphlet on the subject of cow protection. Gau Karunanidhi, Dayanand's pamphlet on the subject of cow protection, Gau Karunanidhi was published in the year of 1881. So Gau Karunanidhi, this was published in 1881. Dayanand's pamphlet on the subject of cow protection, Gau Karunanidhi was published in the year 1881. So Dayanand's pamphlet on the subject of cow protection, Gau Karunanidhi was published in the year of 1881. Moving on to the next question. In the year of 1800 and 1890s, communalism acquired an all-India dimension. The two principal issues were Urdu Dravidian controversy and cow protection. The demand for the use of Dravidian script was granted in the year of 1900. The demand for the Dravidian script, or Devanagari, not Dravidian, Devanagari. Actually, I kind of read it completely wrong, so we're going to have to read it again. In the year of 1800 to 1890s, communalism acquired an Indian dimension, the pan-Indian dimension. The two principal issues were Urdu and Devanagari controversy. The Sanskrit. Urdu and Devanagari controversy and cow protection. The demand for the use of Devanagari script was granted in the year of 1900. So Devanagari script has to be used, and this permission was given in the year of 1900. So Devanagari would be given the status, and this status was given in 1900. And the main demand, and the kind of the pan-India status acquired this sort of a status because of two reasons. One is like Urdu Devanagari controversy, and there's another cow protection. And Devanagari got Devanagari script was granted in the year 1900. Devanagari was granted the status in the 1900 that would be used. Now, Muslim League was initially floated by the ideas of Muslim League. The Muslim League was initially floated by Nawab Salimullah in December 1906. Nawab Salimullah of Decca. Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka, and eventually he was the one who founded it. So Nawab Salimullah Dhaka, 13 December 1906, Dhaka. A Muslim League initially floated by Nawab Salimullah Dhaka, 13 December 1906. Moving on to the next question, the book Indian Muslimin, which contributed to the British policy of divide and rule and led to the growth of Muslim separatism, was written by Sir William Wilson Hunter. The Indian Muslimin, this book was written by William Wilson Hunter, and this sort of gave rise to the separatism between Indians and Hindus and Muslims. So the tribal leaders who was regarded as the father of the world, Dharti Abba was Birsa Munda was regarded as Dharti Abba. So Dharti Abba, Birsa Munda was regarded as the Dharti Abba. The tribal leader who was regarded as the father of the world, Dharti Abba, this was Birsa Munda. When did the first schism of Brahma Samaj take place? In 1866 is the one. 1860 is the date when the first schism in the Brahma Samaj took place. The first schism within the Brahma Samaj take place in 1866. The first schism Brahma Samaj 1866. Fine. Moving on to the next question. When Ramakrishna Mission was established? 1897. 1897 Ramakrishna Mission was established. 1897 Ramakrishna Mission was established. Arrange the following again. Chronological order has to be arranged. So all the options are correct. Sadler Commission, University Calcutta University Commission, Sadler Commission was appointed in 1917. Sadler University Commission 1917, that is perfectly correct. Woods Dispatch, Charles Woods prepared a dispatch for the education system in India, 1854, absolutely fine. The Hunter Commission 1882 to 83, and Relish Commission 1902, Relish Commission, perfectly fine. So all this answer, Relish Commission 1902, Hunter Commission of Education 1882 to 83, then Woods Dispatch 1855, Charles Sadler Commission, the Calcutta University Commission or Sadler Commission 1917, perfectly fine. Moving on to the next question, who was the founder of the Gram Bharta Prakashika? Gram Bharta Prakashika, Harinath Mukherjee. Harinath Mukherjee is the Gram Bharta Prakashika. Who was the founder of the Gram Bharta Prakashika? Gram Bharta Prakashika, Harinath Mukherjee, 1863. Gram Bharta Prakashika, Harinath Mukherjee. Gram Bharta Prakashika, Harinath Mukherjee, not Mukherjee, Mazumdar. Harinath Mazumdar, Gram Bharta Prakashika, Harinath Mazumdar, 1863. Gram Bharta Prakashika, Harinath Mazumdar, 1863. Moving on to the next question. The train theory was propounded by Dadabhai Naoroji. Train of wealth theory, this was propounded by Dadabhai Naoroji. Moving on to the next question. Indian National Congress was, the first Muslim leader of the Indian National Congress was Badruddin Taibji, perfectly fine. Which phase is considered to be the liberal phase of Indian National Congress? 1885 to 1905, that is the liberal phase of Indian National Congress. In 1903, which leader ridiculed the idea of Swaraj? Only madman out of a lunatic asylum could think or talk of independence. Gopal Krishna Gokhale is the one who said that in 1903. Moving on to the next question, the founder of the Ghadar Party, U.S. Lala Hardayal, perfectly fine. The safety valve theory is related to the foundation of which organization? Indian National Congress, perfectly fine. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following statements is true about the Vernacular Press Act of 1878? Vernacular Press Act, only 2 and 4. Only 2 and 4 are correct, but this is not correct. And this is not correct. So what is correct? It came to be known as the Gagging Act. Vernacular Press Act of 1878 known as the Gagging Act, and it was repealed in the year of 1882 by Lord Ripon. So it was repealed by Lord Ripon 1882, and this came to be known as the Gagging Act. Vernacular Press Act of 1878 known as the Gagging Act, and this was repealed in the year of 1882. Moving on to the next question, who of the following did not attend the first session of the Indian National Congress? First session of the Indian National Congress was attended by Umesh Chandra Banerjee, K.T. Tilang and Badruddin Taibji. So basically Umesh Chandra Banerjee, the following did not attend the first session of the Indian National Congress. First session of the Indian National Congress was attended by Umesh Chandra Banerjee, K.T. Tilang and Badruddin Taibji. Umesh Chandra Banerjee, K.T. Tilang and Badruddin Taibji, these all attended the first session of the Indian National Congress. But Surendranath Banerjee did not attend the first session of the Indian National Congress. So Umesh Chandra Banerjee, K.T. Tilang and Badruddin Taibji all attended the first session of Indian National Congress except Surendranath Banerjee. When and where the Bande Mataram was first sung by Rabindranath Tagore? At Calcutta Session INC 1896, Calcutta Session INC, Calcutta Session INC 1896, Calcutta Session of INC 1896. So for the first time Bande Mataram sung by Rabindranath Tagore, Calcutta Session INC 1896, not 97 but 96. At Calcutta Session of INC 1896, at Calcutta Session of 1896, Bande Mataram was first sung by Rabindranath Tagore. At Calcutta Session INC 1896, Bande Mataram was first sung by Rabindranath Tagore. At Calcutta Session of INC 1896, Bande Mataram was first sung by Rabindranath Tagore. Moving on to the next question, when did the British pass a law making it an offense to preach nationalism? 1898 British made it by making a law, made it illegal to preach nationalism. 1898 in 1898 British passed law making offense, that is to say preaching nationalism as an offense. 1898. Moving on to the next question. Who raised the patriotism? Who raised patriotism to the pedestal of mother worship and said, I know my country as my mother, I adore her, I worship her? So I know my mother, like a kind of a pedestal of a mother. Who raised? Arvind Ghosh is the one who did that. Raised the country to the pedestal of a mother. So who raised the patriotism to the pedestal of mother worship said, I know my country as my mother, I adore her, I worship her. Arvind Ghosh is the one who said that. The Indian Indian Association of the National Conference was founded by the Indian Association of National Conference. This was founded by Surendra Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose. The Indian Association of and National Conference was founded by the Indian Association and National Conference. This was founded by Surendra Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose. Indian Association and National Conference. This was founded by Surendra Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose together. Name the European who worked ardently for the Indian national movement and criticized the British rule by saying that the British Empire is rotten to the core, corrupt in every direction, and tyrannical and mean. Sister Nivedita is that the European sees that. Sister Nivedita. Moving on to the next. In which movement though started as a religious reform movement, become a movement of for the restoration of the Sikh sovereignty by the annexation of Punjab by the Britishers? Cuckoo movement. This kind of started in 1857. That is to say, Cuckoo movement started as a religious reform movement, became a movement for the restoration of Sikh sovereignty by the annexation of Punjab by the Britishers. Eventually, this was annexed by the British Punjab, and this revolt eventually died down. So Cuckoo movement, this was the movement started as a religious reform movement but took a nationalist turn. Moving on to the next question. Who said the Congress is in reality a civil war without arms? Who observed the Congress INC in reality is a civil war without arms? Sir Syed Ahmed Khan is the one who observed this. Syed Ahmed Khan said that the Congress, that is to INC, is in reality a civil war without arms. So without arms a civil war is going on, that is Congress. Aligarh movement. Which of the following are correct to describe the character of Aligarh movement? Aligarh movement 2, 3, 4. Only 2, 3 and 4 is correct. 2, 3 and 5, not 4, 5. So this is wrong, and then this is wrong, and this is wrong. So it is a pro-British. That's Aligarh movement. That was pro-British and anti-India, pro-British, anti-Congress, and anti-Hindu. So basically, the Aligarh movement was pro-British, anti-Hindu, anti-Congress, and pro-British. Moving on to the next question. The British government introduced the portfolio system for the first time in 1861. 1861 portfolio system, 1861. So the British government introduced the portfolio system for the first time in 1861. The British government introduced the portfolio system for the first time in 1861. Moving on to the next question. Indian Association played an important role in arousing national consciousness through the formation of the Indian National Conference. So Indian Association played an instrumental role. Indian Association played an important role, an instrumental role, influential role. The Indian Association played an instrumental, important role in arousing national consciousness through the through the formation of the Indian National Conference. Indian Association, Indian National Conference formed. Indian Association played an important role in arousing national consciousness through the formation of Indian National Conference. So Indian Association played an important role in arousing national consciousness through the formation of Indian National Conference. Indian Association played an important role in arousing national consciousness through the formation of Indian National Conference. Moving on to the next question. Correct pair. Maharana Pratap, Bharat Mata, this was Ajit Singh. Bharat Mata, this painting was done by Ajit Singh. Like Bharat Mata painting, I guess this was by Ajit Singh. Moving on to the next, who said that the Congress movement, movement was neither inspired by people nor diverse or planned by them. So basically Lala Lajpat Rai is the one who said that the Congress movement was neither inspired by people nor devised or planned by them. So basically the Congress movement was neither inspired by people nor devised or planned by them. This statement was given by Lala Lajpat Rai. The Congress movement was neither inspired by people nor devised or planned by them. This was said by Lala Lajpat Rai. What is the name of Bengali Monthly and what was the name of the Bengali Monthly founded and edited by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee? 1873. What is the name of the Bengali monthly founded and edited by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, 1873? This was Bangadarshan. Bangadarshan, this was Bengali monthly journal. What's the name of the Bengali monthly founded and edited by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee? Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, 1873. Bengali journal. What is the name of the Bengali monthly founded and edited by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, 1873? This was Bangadarshan. Bangadarshan. The Bengali monthly founded and edited by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, 1873 was Bangadarshan. Bengali monthly founded and edited by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, 1873 was Bangadarshan. Moving on to the next question. When and by whom was the Nair Service Society founded? M. Padmanavan Pillai, 1914. M. Padmanavan Pillai, some sort of Manavar, whatever it was. M. Padmanavan Pillai was the one who founded Nair Service Society. M. Padmanavan Pillai, who was the founding, who the following was the original founder of the Theosophical Society, 1875. 1875 Theosophical Society 1 and 2, that is to say Blavatsky and Annie Besant. M. Blavatsky, Theosophical Society, this was founded by Madam H.P. Blavatsky and Mrs. Annie Besant. Madam H.P. Blavatsky and Mrs. Annie Besant. Blavatsky and Annie Besant, they were the one founded Theosophical Society. Moving on to next question. Keshav Chandra Sen was 1, 2, 3. All of these are true, but except 4. So Keshav Chandra Sen adopted a radical approach. Basically, just a second. Keshav Chandra Sen did what? So Keshav Chandra adopted a radical and comprehensive scheme of social reform. Influenced the concept of bhakti into Brahmanism. Infused the concept of bhakti into Brahmanism. Influenced the socio-religious reform in Bombay and Madras. Influenced the socio-religious reform in Bombay and Madras. Infused concept of bhakti into Brahmanism. Brahmoism, a bhakti concept, you kind of infuse the bhakti, and then comes adopted radical and the comprehensive scheme of a social reform. These are things he did. Then again, influenced the socio-religious reform in Bombay and Madras, opposed the, these are the things. Then comes infused the concept of bhakti in Brahmoism, then adopted radical and comprehensive schemes, the social reform. These are the things that did by Keshav Chandra Sen. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following book was not written by Swami Dayananda Saraswati? Or books written by Swami Dayananda Saraswati would be Satyartha Prakash, Vedabhasya and Vedabhasya Bhumika. Veda Prakash and Satyartha Prakash. Satyartha Prakash, Veda Prakash and Vedabhasya Bhumika. Satyartha Prakash, Veda Prakash and Vedabhasya Bhumika. Satyartha Prakash, Veda Prakash and Vedabhasya Bhumika. These books were written by Dayananda Saraswati. Satyartha Prakash, Veda Prakash and Vedabhasya Bhumika. Who was the founder of the Isharic Society? Who was the founder of the Secret Society of Abhinav Bharata? Secret Society of Abhinav Bharata, Ganesh Savarkar. Secret Society of Abhinav Bharata was founded in 1903. The founder of this was Ganesh Savarkar. Who was the founder of the Secret Society of Abhinav Bharata? Abhinav Bharata founded in 1903 by Ganesh Savarkar. Ganesh Savarkar is the one who founded it. Moving on to a few more questions. Which session of the Congress held 1889 delegates? In which of the Congress session had 1889 delegates? First or fifth session of Bombay. Fifth session of the Congress in Bombay that had 1889 delegates. Fifth session of Bombay. Which session of the Congress had 1889 delegates? Fifth session at Bombay. Who founded the Indian Reform Association 1870? Keshav Chandra Sen was the one founded Indian Reform Association 1870. Keshav Chandra Sen. Moving on to next. During whose period did European soldiers stage the so-called White Mutiny in India? During the period of Lord Canning. White Mutiny, by the European soldiers, White Mutiny, this happened during the period of Lord Canning. This White Mutiny, so-called European soldiers staged protest, this goes by the name White Mutiny. This happened during the tenure of Lord Canning. Moving on, who is generally acknowledged as the pioneer of the local self-government in modern India? Lord Ripon is known, Ripon the Good, the father of local self-government. Moving on to next question. Who was the first to attempt decentralization of financial administration? Lord Mayo. Decentralization of financial administration, Lord Mayo. Moving on, 2014. Who announced Queen Victoria as the Crown of India? Lord Lytton rather. So who announced Queen Victoria as the Crown of India? Lord Lytton. Queen Victoria as the Crown of India, Lord Lytton. Who founded Swadeshi Bandhava Samiti? Ashwini Kumar Datta is Swadeshi Bandhava Samiti, but Swadeshi Bhandar in 1897. Swadeshi Bhandar, 1897, Rabindranath Tagore. Swadeshi Bhan Bhandar Who founded Swadeshi Bhandar 1897? Swadeshi Bhandar 1897, Rabindranath Tagore. Ghadar Party was founded in 1913 San Francisco by Lala Hartayal. Then again, Swadeshi Bhandar 1897, Rabindranath Tagore. Who founded Swadeshi Bhandar 1897? Rabindranath Tagore. Swadeshi Bhandar, Rabindranath Tagore 1897. Moving on to the next question. The chief advisor and the confidant of the Syed Ahmad Khan was Theodore Beck. The chief advisor and confidant of Syed Ahmad Khan was Theodore Beck. The chief advisor and confidant of Syed Ahmad Khan was Theodore Beck. Then comes whom did Bal Gangadhar Tilak call Diamond of India? Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Diamond of India. Whom did Bal Gangadhar Tilak call Diamond of India? Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Bal Gangadhar Tilak called Diamond of India, and this referred to Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So basically, Bal Gangadhar Tilak referred to Gopal Krishna Gokhale as Diamond of India. Moving on, the paper Hindu was published by. The editor of the Hindu paper was Kasturi Ranga Iyengar. Kasturi Ranga Iyengar was the editor of the paper, The Hindu. The first Muslim president of Indian National Congress, Badruddin Tayebji, 1887. And like 1887, the first Muslim president of Indian National Congress was Badruddin Tayebji, 1887. And then last question. Which of the following section remained at the distance during Swadeshi movement of 1905? Which of the following sections of the society remained at a distance during the Swadeshi movement 1905? This was peasantry. Which of the following section remained at distance during the Swadeshi movement 1905? This was peasantry. They remained aloof from the Swadeshi movement 1905-1906. And here we are, and we are done.